Hi, my name is Alan Lamont. I'm going to talk about world politics today, but I'm going to talk about the Knights of Malta in the beginning of this video. Now, the EU, or the United Nations, is ruled over by Herman von Rompuy. That's Herman Van Rompuy. He is the president of the United Nations, or the EU, called Herman van Rompuy, the first EU president. Now, actually, he was graduated and controlled by Jesuit St. John Bircham's College. He's actually Jesuit trained. He came from a Jesuit alumni university, as I've said, called Jesuit St. John Birchman's College. And, you know, he's a Knight of Malta also. So we have the Vatican in control of the European Union through the first European Union president who was Jesuit trained. We also see, if you look at this picture here, you can see Jose Barroso. That's Josebarroso. Jose Barroso is the head of the European Commission, and there he is on the left with the blue flag of Europe with the 12 Vatican yellow stars. On his right, next to the red flag with the Maltese cross, the white Maltese cross, is the Grand Master himself, who controls Barroso. You know, it's the Knights of Malta that control the European Union. This is the real secret power over the United Nations. The European President himself being Jesuit trained from a Jesuit alumni university, and the Commissioner is also a Knight of Malta, ruled by the Grand Master. This is the power over politics, you know. It's dominated by the Jesuit order. Obviously, I've been talking about how they are Knights Templars, which they are. But also, I want to explain that the Bilderberg Group, as I've touched on, was created by Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, you know, and, you know, he was a Knight of Malta also. He was also one of the founders of the European Union, and he initiated his daughter, who's called Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands, into the Knights of Malta. She's a Dame of Malta, and Queen Beatrix is also one of the main members of the Bilderberg Club. And as I've kept saying in other videos, it's actually an interlocking organisation. Same with the Trilateral Commission, same with the Council on Foreign Relations, same with the Royal Institute of International Affairs. They're just organisations by which these Vatican knighthoods control Europe, you know, and they control America, you know. Ultimately, it's the Jesuits from their Jesuit alumni universities and the Jesuit provincials that rule over the Knights of Malta. The Knights of Malta rule politics. But the fact that Von Rompuy is Jesuit trained as the head of, you know, the European Union, as in the first president, that's the Jesuits coming out in the open now. They're no longer content to be covertly controlling the world. They're no longer content to be, you know, controlling secretly world politics through the alliance between the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, you know, and also, you know, Jesuit alumni universities. This is a secret control for generations, where now they're coming out in the open. You know, that's it. It's time now. It's time for them to come out in the open. This is why we're seeing the head of the European Commission, Jose Barroso, photographed with his Grand Master, the Knights of Malta. It's in plain sight now. This is no longer, you know, just. Of course, it's still covert, but what I'm saying is they're making it overtly now known, you know, and you know, and this is something that, you know, is a system of control that's existed for generations. I've been explaining how Queen Elizabeth rules over the crown, which she does, and, you know, she rules over how Crown Empire. Also, you know, the crown actually oversees, you know, the European Union itself as well. I've been explaining that through the Order of the Garter, but ultimately, you know, the Pope of Rome, let me talk about Pope Benedict. He's actually just a Knight of Malta. He's subordinate to this man here, his Grand Master. Okay? who also he answers to the Black Pope, right? So, you know, this is really the true one world government run by the Knights of Malta, all covertly controlled by, you know, the Black Pope, the superior Jesuit general. And the Freemasons do have a lot of power, as I've kept saying over and over, you know, in this structure. But they're merely just, you know, the heads of state, the presidents and prime ministers of different governments. I mean, you have this man here, you have Spanish King Juan Carlos, you know. He rules over politics, okay? He rules over what's called the Holy Roman Empire, you know, because he's actually connected to the Order of the Garter. He's run by the Jesuit Templars, he's controlled by, obviously, the Black Pope himself being... There's two, obviously, Hans Kovenbach and Adolfo Nicholas. But this man here on the left, you see next to King John Carlos of Spain. This man on the left, Herman von Rompuy, as I've says, he is actually a Jesuit. Not just Jesuit trained, but he is himself a high Jesuit. He's got more power than the Pope of Rome, believe me. But this man also works with the royal bloodlines. Okay, and obviously see on the right there you see Juan Carlos, who actually he's knighted in more knighthoods than anyone I know. He is the Equestrian Order, Knights of the Holy Sepulchre. He is of the Vatican Knighthood of St. George, of Pius, of Order of Christ, of Order of Malta, Order of the Garter, of, you know, obviously he's a High Templar. This is what this man is. He's a High Templar working for the Jesuit Order. And, you know, the Templars are the ones that really control, okay? The one world government. In fact, the Jesuit Order is just a continuation, as I've said, of the Templars. And this is what people need to be really researching. But I just wanted to bring out, you know, clearly for all to see, you know, who's in power here. You know, I mean, men like Bill Clinton, as I've said in other videos, he's actually, you know, was graduated from Jesuit Georgetown University. Anyone that has any real power is graduated from a Jesuit alumni university. Anyone else is just a Vatican Knight. That's it. Like Barroso here, you know, he's just a Knight of Rome. He doesn't make any decisions whatsoever. This man does. On the right is Grand Master Matthew Festin, as I've said before. And on the right you can see his, you know, commanders, you know, in the Knights of Malta. These are the men that run the politicians. These are the men that run the Pentagon. These are the men that run the American administrations and the CIA and the FBI and Homeland Security. These are the men that also run British SIS. That's what they run. You know, the Knights of Malta have political power. That's given to them. And, you know, I'm just bringing out another message, really. I mean, okay, I'll finish with this. I'm not going to make this incredibly long, this audio, but it is a Holy Roman Empire. It is a papal one world government. Okay, the Pope is at the head, but behind him you have the Templar Jesuits ruling over their royal Catholic sovereigns. It's the Catholic sovereigns that have the power. It's the Catholic sovereigns like Juan Carlos, Queen Elizabeth II, who do actually have the power here over the UN, over the politicians of America, over the politicians of the European Union, except if they are Jesuit trained. If they are Jesuit trained, they are above or at the same level with the Catholic sovereigns. That's the truth of it. But people that are not Jesuit alumni, they're just knights. They're just high-level Masonic knights. That's about the only level they will reach. And of course, this is all written in the book of Revelation. That's the amazing thing. That's the amazing thing. Revelation chapter 17 reveals that, there is a great whore that rides a beast. She rides the armies of the monarchies, and with her the kings of the earth also have committed fornication. So we'll have this beast empire, this Antichrist one world government, ruled over by the great whore, the Catholic Church, of course, which is nothing more than a front organisation for this Babylonian Brotherhood consisting of the Templars, the Vatican knighthoods, which is what it is, They're all Babylonian knights of Babylon. That's the real conspiracy. And this is revealed by God himself. And God reveals, the Spirit of God has made known to us and revealed in Revelation 17 that one day the Vatican's going to be destroyed by the 10 kings, by the beast, by the Antichrist. But more and more we'll see, the years unfold, and we're seeing that the Jesuits are putting their Jesuit alumni and high Vatican knights right into the places of power, right at the top of the highest positions in the United Nations. They're no longer hiding in the shadows anymore. That time is over. Okay? They're now in the highest positions, these Vatican knights, for all to see. And this is why there's been a lot of exposure by men like Craig Oxley and Eric John Phelps and myself, and there's a man got a website called Avenue of Light, there's Babylon Watch, there's many others, there's many people exposing this. And it's just going to continue, I suppose, because once people understand the power of the Vatican knighthoods, once they understand that actually our prime ministers and our presidents are high Vatican knights, that either Vatican knights of the Order of Pius or St. Gregory or of Malta or of Columbus or of the Equestrian Order or Order of the Garter or Order of the Golden Fleece, once the people on the internet understand that all of our Catholic monarchs, all of our presidents and rulers, even the EU president, they're all Jesuits or High Vatican Knights, then that's it. There is no more debate about who rules the New World Order. There is no more discussion, because it's not even open for question. The case is closed. People see the evidence right in front of them. They see the evidence that the Vatican controls the monarchies and the politicians through Vatican knighthoods. Ultimately, the Templars are the Jesuits ruling over their Babylonian one world government. This is the New World Order, actually revealed by God in the book of Revelation. The great whore rules over the kings of the earth. That's the truth, isn't it? You see that at John Paul II funeral. Just look at that funeral. Prince Charles, you had Bush Jr., Bush Sr., you had Juncan Carlos, you had, the President of France, you had them all there. Every ambassador, Robert Mugabe, who in fact is, serving the British crown, as Mandela was. But you see all the ambassadors of every nation, every head of state, every world leader there at the Pope's funeral. What does that say? They've committed fornication with the great whore. And she reigns over the kings of the earth. That's why they all go there, to the Vatican, because that is the headquarters for the New World Order. Okay, good place to end. My name is Alan Lamont. Thanks for listening, and as always, all roads lead to Rome.